Hello everyone, myself Brunda. I am studying at Sri Venkateshwara College of Engineering in 7th Sem. Let me look over from the subject software architecture and design pattern the topic about a notation for describing object-oriented systems. Let me move into the contents. We discuss about the introduction, importance, objective, components, diagrams and example. Let me begin with the introduction topic. Object-oriented systems are a powerful paradigm in software design and development focused on organizing software as a collection of interacting objects, each representing an instance of a class. Mainly we use the two type of the attributes, two type of the object. The name one is data and other one is behavior. As object-oriented systems are inherently complex due to the relationships and interactions between the object, effective communication of the system structure and behavior is crucial for both the development as well as the maintenance part. Where introduction was continued with respect to object-oriented system notations provides standardized ways to represent the design and architecture of object-oriented systems. They are essential for, we mainly focus the object-oriented notation for visualizing, documenting and understanding the different aspects of a system, whether it's to describe the static structure of the system or the dynamic behavior. It consists mainly both with static as well as the dynamic. These notations facilitate a clear and comprehensive understanding of how the system works. Let me look over about the importance. Design communication notation offer a clear and standardized way to communicate the design between stakeholders such as developers, architects, and business analysts. Documentation. Well-defined notations provide documentation that can be referenced throughout the software's lifecycle, aiding in both development and later maintenance. Analysis and refinement. By visualizing components and their interactions, notations allow for easier identification of design flaws, inefficiencies, or unnecessary complexity. Code generation and reverse engineering, where it contains with curtain notations, especially those in UML, can be used to generate code templates or reverse engineer code back into the diagrams, making them useful in both development as well as refactoring. These are the importance in object-oriented notation: design communication, documentation, analysis and refinement, and code generation and reverse engineering. Let me look over about the objective. The goal of using these notations is to visualize the relationship and interaction between classes and objects. Document the design decisions and system architecture. Simplify communication across the development team, stakeholders and clients. There will be a proper communication between the development team with the clients for the future requirement. Ensure consistency. Ensure consistency is how the system is built and how its component interact with it. How the system we are building with it with the help of the tools and all, we look over in the ensure consistency. By providing a common language for object-oriented designs, notations facilitate the efficient development of complex software systems, ensuring both clarity in design and ease of understanding for all involved parties. Let me look over about the components. What are the components we are seen here? In object-oriented system, there are several key concepts that are important to capture. Let me look over first about the classes and objects, where we classes define the blueprint for objects, where class is one of the important for the object, which are instances of those classes. Classes specify the attributes, data and methods, functions that object will have. The classes are mainly used for specification purpose of the data and attributes or functions as well. And let me look over about the inheritance. What means inheritance? Classes can inherit behavior and attribute from other classes. From one class to other classes, where the behavior can be inherited from one to another. Promoting code reuse and a hierarchical structure. We need to have a proper hierarchical structure also. Polymorphism. This refers to the ability for different objects to respond the same method. Encapsulation, the attribute of the object are hidden from the outside world and can only be accessed or modified through predefined methods. Abstraction, object expose only the relevant details to the outside world while hiding the complexities of their implementation. Diagrams, the key UML diagrams consist with class diagram, object diagram, use case diagram, sequence diagram, activity diagram, state diagram, component diagram, and deployment diagram. Class diagram represents the static structure of the system, showing the classes their attribute method relationship. Object diagram show instance of classes at a specified point in time, highlighting their relationships and values. Where you use the use case diagram, where the use case diagram mainly consists with the actors and how they interact with the system. The main we are look over about actors and how they are interacting with their system. And sequence diagram describe how objects interact with each other in a sequence of messages over a time with a particular time period. How they are been interacting we look over in a sequence diagram. Activity diagram, what is activity diagram? Models that workflow or the sequence of activity in a process. It will be going from one state activity to another state, like one activity to another activity, from the development phase to deployment stage. That type the activity diagram involves. State diagram describe the state of an object can be in and how it transitions between states based on the events or condition. State diagram nothing but it describes the state of an object. One state to another state transition take place. How it will be worked here. Component diagram represent the physical components or modules that make up to the system. How the components are been scheduled and how they will be work here. We look over in the component diagram. Deployment diagram model the deployment of the software on hardware nodes. How the deployment will be work here. Example, a class diagram in UML might include class where we consider with a class rectangle. Attributes for the rectangles are width and the height. We took here the attributes, and the methods we look over in the get area and get perimeter. Class square we took over the class from the square. Inheritance from the rectangle. From the rectangle we are took the inheritance. Attribute none because none of the attributes there because it was also inherited from rectangle. Method set side. Thank you.